G'day and welcome to episode 51 of Trent365. Today's Saturday, the 20th of January. Be a producer of outcomes. Yesterday I was flicking through a publication called Strategy Plus Business. It's a magazine format and it's put out by PricewaterhouseCoopers. And two things struck me. Firstly, they're being a media company. You would have heard me talk about this before, as our good friend Gary Vee says. In today's world, you need to think of yourself as a media company first, who is in whatever product or service vertical that you're in. Because you need to be able to produce a lot of content, a lot of media, to be able to be seen and be heard and get people's attention. So in putting out this little magazine, PwC is doing a good job of providing useful information that's relevant to their field of expertise, that also acts as a promotional tool for their business. And the other thing that struck me is that there was an article on the 10 principles for leadership in this, what they're calling the new industrial revolution, which is essentially the age of digitization that we're now in. Norbert Schweitzer, I think that's the correct pronunciation, and Bob Norris put it together. And there was one sentence in the whole article that really hit me, which is that in today's world, you need to think of yourself not as a producer of products or a provider of services, but as a producer of outcomes. And it's a concept that we've talked about here on the show before. Back in episode 11, I think it was, with features and benefits, we touched on the idea. More recently in episode 44 on what industry are we in, this whole idea of what are we selling and what are people buying. What our friends over at PwC are saying is that people are buying the outcome. So take a step back, have a look at your business through other people's eyes, through your customers' eyes. Hey, I think that was in episode 2, right? Back in episode 24? It's interesting how all of these thoughts seem to come back together at some point. That's interesting. Anyway, take a step back and look at your business in terms of what outcome is it delivering. There you go. There's a bit of a chunky one for a Saturday morning. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate your time. If you're enjoying the show, why not subscribe over on iTunes or the Google Play Store? Or there's a few other podcast type locations you can find us. Or you can just follow along on the social streams if you like. That's fine too. I'll be back again tomorrow. See ya. Hey there, it's Trent again. Really sorry. I've got to make a quick correction on the authors that I mentioned in episode 51. The article in Strategy Plus Business from PricewaterhouseCoopers. I was so obsessed about trying to get Norbert Schweitzer's name right that I messed up Bob's name. It's Bob Moritz, not Bob Morris. Moritz. Sorry, Bob.